Hello students. Today we will learn about the Mediterranean Sea. Did you know that the Mediterranean Sea connects the continents of Africa, Asia and Europe? In fact, throughout the course of history, people have used the sea to immigrate from one continent to another. Let's go read an article from BBC together about the latest update on immigration by way of the Mediterranean Sea. Migrant boats in the Mediterranean. Why are so many people dying? By Alice Cuddy. In grainy photographs shot from a plane circling overhead, 4 people adrift in a small, metal boat in an expanse of the Mediterranean Sea wave their arms in distress. It later emerges that the group, a 13-year-old boy, 2 men and a woman, are the only survivors of a shipwreck that they say killed the other 41 people they were traveling with. The 4 survived by floating with inner tubes and life jackets until they found another empty boat, likely from a previous migrant crossing, and clambered in. They spent several days drifting before being rescued. A day after news of the tragedy emerged, migrants in the Tunisian city of Sfax prepared to make the same crossing. One man, who had fled fighting in Sudan's western region of Darfur, told BBC Arabic that he planned to seek asylum in Tunisia, but was ready to board a boat if this didn't work. "I just survived a war, I have nothing to lose," he said. Another, from Kenya, dreamed of a better life for his family in Europe. If they go ahead with the journeys, the 2 men will join thousands of others who have risked their lives this year on what has been dubbed the world's most dangerous migration route. Experts told the BBC that badly designed and overcrowded boats, stormy weather, and gaps in international efforts were all factors in the danger. And one search and rescue NGO described the central Mediterranean as a cemetery. Surges in deaths. If it feels like you are seeing more reports of shipwrecks this year in the central Mediterranean, then both crossings and deaths do appear to be on the rise. People making the journey set sail from the shores of North Africa, usually for Italy. European border agency Frontex says the central Mediterranean is the most active route into the European Union, and that reported crossings are at their highest since 2017. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, has recorded more than 1,800 migrant deaths in the central Mediterranean so far this year, compared to 1,400 for the whole of 2022. Among the migrant shipwrecks this year was an overcrowded fishing vessel off the coast of Greece, which killed hundreds in one of the worst humanitarian disasters in the Mediterranean in recent years. The IOM says there is strong evidence that many shipwrecks are invisible, unrecorded boats disappearing with no survivors, meaning the real death toll is likely to be much higher. Why people make the dangerous journey. Those embarking on the perilous voyage come from around the world and have various reasons for wanting to reach Europe, from fleeing war or torture, to searching for jobs. After being rescued from an overcrowded rubber raft this summer, one 16-year-old boy from the Gambia told the BBC he left home 3 years ago to hustle hard and help my family. He was aware of how dangerous the journey was, having lost an 18-year-old friend to the crossing, but he said this did not deter him. His friend had lost his life for his family and his society and his nation. This year, Tunisia has overtaken Libya as the main point of departure, amid a wave of racism against black Africans. Some say the Libya crossing remains more dangerous, both for geographical and political reasons. In terms of fatalities, I think that the opening up of the eastern Libya route, from territories controlled by Wagner-supported militias, is having a bigger impact, said Nando Sigona, a professor at the University of Birmingham, and a migration expert. It is much longer and it also brings boats at the border between Italian and Greek national waters. 2 governments currently not too keen to be seen as providing rescue operations to migrants at sea, he said, citing the Greek shipwreck in June by way of example. Unseaworthy boats. Migrants are typically traveling on overcrowded and unseaworthy boats, with limited flotation devices should they capsize. Types of boats include rubber rafts and fishing vessels. On the Tunisian route, metal boats are common. Combine this with the fact that usually there are dozens of these launched at one time with 40 or more people on board and you have a recipe for disaster, he said. Mr. Borowski said that greedy people smugglers used metal boats to offer discount crossings as they competed for migrants' business. Unpredictable storms. Crossings are seasonal, with more attempts in the summer. But weather can be unpredictable and successful journeys can take days. If storms occur, or the seas are rough, which may become more frequent with climate change, there is a much greater risk to life. IOM spokesperson Ryan Schroeder said. Sometimes not even bad weather deters smugglers from sending people out to sea, he added, pointing to the boats that recently capsized near the island of Lampedusa, which were launched despite rough seas. And Mr. Borofsky says poor weather makes spotting boats in distress even more difficult. Imagine searching for a Vauxhall Casa from the air in an area the size of the UK. Now try looking for a dozen or more in the open sea, he said. This is the daunting challenge in the Central Med. This, combined with an unforgiving sea, especially when the weather turns bad, as we have seen in recent days.